I have something that's bothering me, that's worrying me very much, and, well, I don't want to talk about it, but I'm going to. Definitions of some words that people are getting wrong. What is the definition of fascism?
According to Wikipedia, fascism is a far-right, authoritarian, ultranationalist political ideology and movement, characterized by a dictatorial leader, centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition.
Okay. And now another definition. What is the definition of a dictator?
Here's the definition of dictator. A ruler with total power over a country, typically one who has obtained control by force.
Okay. What does democracy mean?
Here's the definition of democracy. A system of government by the whole population or all the eligible members of a state, typically through elected representatives.
Okay. What will happen November 5th of this year? That is the election day for a lot of different offices, especially the President of the United States. Basically, we have two running mates. We've got Kamala Harris for the Democrats, and we have Donald Trump running for the Republican Party. The GOP, Grand Old Party, which is the Republicans, they're trying to limit who can even get to vote, especially like in Georgia and some of those southern states. They're trying to just kind of like eliminate people off the rolls, especially if you don't want to vote the way they want you to, just, so that you don't vote. And they're making it difficult for people that they don't want, like their vote, to vote. They want to hand count everything after it's already been tallied. Is that a way to be able to throw stuff away? I don't know. If the Democrats win, Trump will still not stop. The Trumpsters will not stop. They will not stop oppressing anyone that thinks differently. Could it be a start of another civil war? I hope not. If Trump wins, you've lost. Will people move out of the country? I don't know. Where I live specifically is an area of a lot of old farts, a lot of old white guys and Trumpsters, and there's Trump signs even in this neighborhood all over the place. And the attitudes of these people are mean, hatred, and mean. And if they claim to be religious or Christian, that's incongruous. It doesn't jive. It's not right. If you're Christian, you try to do the right thing. You do not admonish people who don't do what you want them to do. That is not being Christian. God is love. And if you believe in Jesus, Jesus came down to tell people, hey, God is love. Don't misuse the earth and the people and the friendship and don't misuse everything and everybody. That is not cool. Love one another and be kind and loving. Hate begets hate, It does. Hate is very easy to get involved in. And you boil like a boiling pot of water. This is my words now, not Jesus's. You boil like a boiling pot of water. Sometimes if you're boiling a pot of water, it overflows and gets all over the place, and it's a big mess. The Democrats are more like a pan of water that you bring to a simmer, you put the lid on and you bring the volume down just a little bit, the heat, and you cook the vegetables until they're done. The other party is like boiling it at full speed, dropping in your vegetables and walking away for a while as long as it's boiling and boiling and boiling. The end result is not the same. The end result is spoiledness, greed, Greed is a terrible, terrible thing. And everybody is greedy to a certain point. Like, I don't like to share this or that. I don't openly share my car. Or, with my kids I would. But, if neighbor says, I need your car, I gotta go get my sister in Arizona or something. I'm like, I'll drive you, but you can't have it. But, it's like there's certain things, there's a certain amount of space around you that is filled with how you feel good. Beyond that is the world. And then a lot of these people with the Trump signs and everything, they have such hatred built up in them. And they condemn you if you don't believe exactly the way they do. There's a lot of Christian religions out there. Baptist, Methodist, Lutheran, Catholicism, Mormonism. I mean, there's a lot of religions out there. Their gods may be viewed just a little bit differently, but God is God. It's an all-encompassing, knowing entity, feeling, whatever. And even people that don't go to church and don't necessarily believe in all the stories told, they still have like a godlike aura up there. They know that there's something there. They don't know what. They don't call it a name. They just know. And they know that if you're good, and you treat others well, that you'll be treated better, If you speak well, people will pay more attention to you. If you're ignorant and loud and abrasive and want to punch people all the time, they're not going to like it. Not the decent ones. So it bothers me a whole lot. My ex-husband used to sit around and say, oh, we're in for another civil war. Well, he might be right, but I hope not. I hope there's enough level-headed people with common sense. But I talked to Brian today and he said, you never know. He ordered a survival bucket online. I said, well, you'll need water with that. Everything's dehydrated. He says, I ordered that too. How come I didn't know about it? Do I have to order a bucket too? I don't know. I have several cat litter jugs that are empty. I can clean them out and put water in them and store them. That way it would be for like hand washing or something. But I don't know. I worry. Because I know that there's so many stupid people out there. People that they don't go to the source. They don't even look around. Someone tells them something. A brother, someone's cousin, sister's uncle tells them something and they'll believe it. I was raised to question authority. I was a teenager in the late 60s, early 70s. Back when my mother's time, if a doctor told you to stand on your head and wiggle your ears, you would attempt to do it. If a doctor told me that now, I would question his thought process. We know a lot more than we used to. The whole world is plugged in. There's a whole lot that, nobody can get away with anything. Even, who knows, the TV listens to me. Because I get commercials for, I bought an airline ticket a month ago. And I get airline commercials and suitcase commercials. And it's like, man, there's nothing like feeling like you are being watched at all times. I guess if you were an exhibitionist, you wouldn't mind it. But there's been a few days lately that I have just turned everything off and laid in bed or taken a walk. Not that you're not watched from outside too, but I don't know. And people, you get very frazzled. You have to take a break from technology sometimes. I don't have a landline telephone anymore. I've got the cell phone. Everybody has their own cell phone. It's like having a number tattooed on you, basically. And you can be found. I've told people, you don't want to be found. You can't get anything anymore. Not a thing. You got to be all by yourself, often nowhere, and have the most boring life for anyone else as possible. They won't be interested in you unless they're out to kill people that are just taking up space. Just like the fascist system in Nazi Germany, they had a targeted group of people, right? Some groups of people are easy to target because of their skin color or their eye, if they're Asian or something, or maybe they're really tall, maybe they're really short, maybe they're really fat. Some people are easy to target. Maybe they shop at Trader Joe's, the hippy-dippy people. My brother seems to think that everyone in California is hippy-dippy. No. Not where I live out here. You see Trump flags proudly, 2 great big Trump and America flags and stuff stuck in the back of their pick-em-up truck. Flags on their flagpoles, on their fences, everything. It's scary. It's really scary. It's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I used to think, how can people get suckered into, the ones in Germany, Nazi Germany, how can they get suckered into that? And why would they do that? I'm beginning to understand, sometimes people fit in just so that they don't get targeted. And it just, it's like, I don't want to eat crow, so I'm not taking my word back. I'm just going to go with it because I said I would. People that know me know that I'm probably one of the biggest targets around. I don't go blithering and spreading you have to do this and, the world is better if you do this or that. No, I don't do that. I try to show what kindness is by showing what kindness is. By opening the door for people to enter the store. By being kind and being smiley and stuff like that. But, I don't know. It's really worrisome. Well, I'm going to get off my high horse, which isn't very high. It's kind of a low horse, but what have I said and not said? I don't know. I have a list. But, will people move out of the country? Well, I can try to run away to Canada. My other son lives there. Brian said, why don't you scope out? I've been scoping out some places in Canada to move. I'm like, oh, shit. And he works at a hospital. And in hospitals, you hear all kinds of stuff. You hear people that happen to know stuff. I'm really afraid. I'm afraid. And I have, after living in St. Louis and how urbanized it got and drive-by shootings in the neighborhood and everything, I really wasn't that afraid. If there's a black guy collecting for the homeless outside Walmart, I'll stop and talk to him. I'm not afraid. But the attitude towards these people that have mob mentality, that's not a good one, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. I say I'm sorry a lot, so I guess I could make it in Canada, huh? Upward and onward.